And a happy Tuesday to you. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Eric Granstrom. One more time around for Dan Kuntz. He's supposed to be back tomorrow. He better be back tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, and thanks for putting up with me over the last week plus as we wade through the morning hours on every weekday. And I'm certainly happy that you make part of your day a stop right here on the program. Coming up on the program, you see this little football right here. You know, it's been so long since we've had any football-related things. My football's half flat. So we got to get some air in this football because we have football coming up later up this week right here on the NCW Life Channel. We'll talk more about that with some athletic directors from around the area coming up later on this show. Also, the latest from the newsroom and some breaking news that happened in the last 24 hours. Some sad news out of Othello. World of sports, a bird is returning to the nest with the Seattle Storm. Tell you more about that on the way. And I selected a specific story just for Megan, our producer, here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is a pet-related story, so we'll have that a little bit later on. First, though, let's start things off on this 2nd of March, 2021, with a glorious look at our valley below with our Sky-Fi wireless cameras as we take a look at the valley view. Thanks to Local-Tel, this is our cross cam looking down upon the Columbia River, that body of water stretching betwixt us. For those, I know we've got people that are watching online right now. I've got some friends over in Western Washington, some of whom have never even been to Wenatchee in their lives. Well, here you go, gang. This is why in 1989 I moved here and said, I'm never coming back. Oh, look at that. Whew, I love this valley. And good morning, Wenatchee. Good morning, East Wenatchee. Good morning, Sunny Slope. And hello to a Tuesday. Going to be a decent day today. To camera 2, we will go and say a good morning to Upper Valley. Oh, I see a highway down below. Where are we here? Valley High. Valley High. I suppose, does Dan do that too? Does he? No. Oh, he doesn't do that. Oh, okay. Megan's like, I can't wait for Dan to get back tomorrow. Yeah, there we go. Valley High, look high above as we still have plenty of snow. In fact, Grant was talking about that yesterday when he said, talking about the weather and going up to Twisp and the Upper Met House. Certainly some heavy snow still lingering in some of the higher elevations of Washington. Well, we need it. Shoot, it's only the 2nd day of March. All right, camera 3, where are we going to go now? I'm always excited to see what is going to... Oh, look at that view. Oh, my goodness gracious. I don't even care where that is. I think we're looking from... Is that Chelan in the distance? What are we looking at? Okay, that's McNeil Canyon, the camera we have there. Again, thanks to Sky-Fi and Local-Tel for providing us these camera views all around north central Washington. We've got, 30-some cameras from which to choose. That also helps out our news team incredibly, because if there's breaking news, a fire that's going on, something like that, we can just flip on these cameras and position them around. They're PTZ, point, tilt, zoom cameras, and so we're able to kind of scan the horizon and see if there's any trouble lurking. But no trouble this morning. A beautiful morning and a good morning. All right, camera 4, where we're going to go here. We're high above Billy Goat and taking a look down at the Columbia River as we're in the upper reaches of the Columbia. And right in about the center of your screen there, you can almost make out the bridge heading across from Brewster as you cross the Columbia River there, and tucked behind the hill on the right is Bridgeport. You can see a little bit of Bridgeport there. And Pateros is in the low foreground as you look at the bridge that crosses the Methow River as its confluence with the Columbia River. And a good morning to Okanagan Valley and to our friends up north. Thanks to Sky-Fi and Local-Tel for the Valley View cameras this morning. You know what? This might be a 3-slurp morning. It could be. And we're going to do one right now. All right, we got more of those to come as we get towards our obscure holiday here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. As far as the weather forecast is concerned, we're looking for gorgeous weather. High temperatures in the 50s. Look at that across the board. 53 today with some sunshine. 30 overnight tonight. We could see some patchy fog. It's that time of year, gang, where that relative humidity hits a certain spot and could get some fog in the morning hours as you get up and get ready for work tomorrow, so be careful about that. Tomorrow we're going to see another sunny day and 52, 33 the overnight low on Wednesday night with some fog possibly forming again. As we look ahead, partly sunny on Thursday, 54, still warm, 54 on Friday and Saturday too, with clouds moving in Friday. I'll bet you by Saturday afternoon, we're going to get some sunshine with that 54-degree temperature. A little bit cooler on Sunday, 49 the expected high with partly cloudy skies mixed with some sunshine. And a peek into next week, pretty much more of the same with 47 the high, 32 the low. By the way, our normal for this time of year, 48 high, 31 lows. So, yeah, you can see we're above it on both ends of the spectrum. 50 was our high yesterday in Wenatchee. The overnight low right now, as a matter of fact, a couple hours ago, I'll say 34 degrees was the overnight low here for the Wenatchee Valley. Record high for this day, 62 degrees in 1968. The record low was 12 in 1960. Sun rose this morning at 6:38. It will set this evening at 5:48. We'll add a couple of minutes on both ends of the spectrum tomorrow with the sunrise at 6:36 and the sunset at 5:49. As far as the mountain passes are concerned, if you've been waiting to travel because it just was a little scary up there, well, this would be a good day to go, really. We have no restrictions on any of the mountain passes this morning. Actually, a little light rain in 34. You see the pavement there wet, maybe some standing water up at Snoqualmie Pass. So I guess that's about all you need to worry about. Bare and wet, no restrictions on Snoqualmie with 34 degrees and light rain. Stevens Pass this morning also in pretty good shape. It's bare and wet, a little frost and ice in places, 34 degrees at the summit and overcast. No restrictions on Stevens Pass, although we'll tell you about this in the news. Still kind of watching out for avalanche control work at times on Stevens. Blewett Pass has clear skies and 34 degrees this morning. The roadway is bare and dry and no restrictions. That's free travel on US 97 Blewett Pass. Further down south, White Pass, overcast, frost and ice, and no restrictions. So good traveling conditions today. If you need to head over east-west in the mountain passes, no restrictions on any of those mountain passes so far this morning. That's good news. We're at 7 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Tuesday, the 2nd of March. So it's 03/02/21. There you go. Just for those of you writing checks. Does anybody write any checks anymore? Hey, but before we get too much farther, this last week plus, of course, we had pageant last week. That was busy enough. And then, of course, I do this whole sports thing. That's busy enough. And then I also, behind the scenes, I help to program what's going on here as far as what you see on NCW Life Channel. And then, of course, filling in for Dan this past week. So it's been a long week plus, and I just wanted to thank my wife, Marion. She has put up with a lot. I went off of a bad back, still dealing with a bad back, to this and everything else. And so thank you, Marion. Love you, baby. Here, let's you and I have a morning slurp. See, I said it was going to be a multi-slurp morning. All right, there you go. We'll take a break, come back, and latest local news coming up next on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CVCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CVCH respects that.
Alta Cellars Winery is a family-owned boutique winery featuring structured wines from some of the most sought-after vineyards in Washington. Time-honored winemaking techniques blend with New World style to create reds and whites that are captivating. Located in the original firehouse in downtown Manson, the spacious indoor-outdoor setting provides the perfect backdrop to indulge in a sit-down wine experience. You're invited to come enjoy this firsthand at Alta Cellars, now open in Manson. Just about 10 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Sunshine in our forecast. Few clouds here and there. Temperatures in the middle 50s about today. We're at 36 in downtown Wenatchee. Filling in for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom with your latest local news. An Othello man has been arrested after his 4-year-old son was killed by a gunshot wound to the head Saturday. The Othello Police Department says 27-year-old Felipe Tapia Perez admitted to accidentally firing the gun at a home in the 300 block of Hamlet Street in Othello. Tapia Perez faces charges of second-degree manslaughter, possession of a stolen gun, and alien in possession of a firearm. Police say the family drove the boy to a local hospital where he died before he could be airlifted to Spokane. A man from Union Gap who allegedly transported drugs to Wenatchee for sale now faces criminal charges. 36-year-old Francisco Lopez was arrested Friday after a sting operation organized by the Columbia River Drug Task Force. Investigators say Lopez arranged to sell 9 ounces of cocaine and 4 pounds of marijuana to an informant in the Wenatchee area. Local detectives coordinated with Yakima police to build the case and said they found the drugs in the vehicle Lopez was riding in once it arrived in Wenatchee. He remains in jail on pending charges of conspiracy to distribute and unlawful possession of cocaine. In what may be the first fire season warning of the year, Grant County Fire District 13 responded to a brush fire outside Ephrata Sunday afternoon. The fire district said the resident did a good job with a garden hose after wind pushed a controlled burn into adjacent brush. A tender was then used to mop up. Fire District 13 said it's an early reminder the vegetation in the area will ignite easily and spread rapidly. Of course, last week we had a fire up in the Manson area, same kind of thing. Highway 2 over Stevens Pass has seen its share of shutdowns this winter. Latest started at 9 o'clock Monday morning as the Washington Department of Transportation closed the route to conduct aerial avalanche control like this effort last spring. The closure ended about noon, although it was planned to go on a little longer than normal due to heavy snowpack above the roadway. Slide work led the Stevens Pass Ski Resort to shut down operations for the day on Monday. Well, the number of COVID-19 vaccinations given at the state's 4 mass inoculation centers has now topped 70,000. State Department of Health announced Saturday that over the past month, the mass vaccination site at Wenatchee's Town Toyota Center alone has distributed more than 17,500 doses of the Pfizer vaccine. The sites have been operating since late January, and now many of them are focusing on administering the required second doses of each vaccination. The Wenatchee site serves Chelan and Douglas counties, as well as Grant and Okanagan. Only people 65 or older or 50 and older living in multi-generational households are currently eligible for the preventative shot. Well, North Central Washington's 2 congressional members were on opposite sides during this weekend's vote on the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion pandemic relief package put forward by President Joe Biden passed the House 219 to 212. 8th District Democrat Kim Schreier was among those voting yes, while Republican Dan Newhouse of the 4th District voted no. The bill includes such measures as $1,400 direct relief to Americans earning less than $75,000 a year, plus aid for schools, local governments, and vaccine programs. But some provisions, like a proposed $15 national minimum wage, could be in jeopardy as the Senate takes up the bill this week. Well, Sergeant Kent Sisson, who is credited with building the Chelan County Emergency Management Division, signed off Friday after a 34-year career in law enforcement. Sisson has been with the Chelan County Sheriff's Department for 27 of those years, serving in a variety of roles, including search and rescue and sergeant for the city of Chelan.
Chelan County Unit, stand by for announcement. Sergeant Kent Sisson, on behalf of the Chelan County Sheriff's Office, Rivercom Dispatch, and the citizens of Chelan County, we thank you for your 35 years of service. We recognize that during your tour, you served at the Central Washington University Police Department for 8 years before joining the Sheriff's Office in 1994. Since then, you have provided notable contributions to the search and rescue team, emergency management team, and most recently, the COVID-19 response. You have served your community with honor, pride, courage, and integrity, the cornerstone elements to our profession. You have laughed, cried, fought, bled, suffered, and loved with your partners in blue. It is a privilege that today we announce your tour has concluded. Let us, your brothers and sisters, continue to carry on that tradition of service. Good night, good luck, and may peace be with you. K6 is out of service, 1443.
Yes, and we echo those sentiments. Thank you for your service, Sergeant Sisson. Well, one story that caught my eye today, and I thought I would bring it in to the show this morning, pretty unbelievable. Now, Megan, of course, handles all of our pet patrols here. Sure, she's our pet patrol on the NCW Life Channel with, of course, the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. And I can't imagine this story being true, but it apparently is. Oftentimes you'll adopt a pet, right? You'll adopt a cat or a dog or something like that, especially a cat. And the cat might just go, I don't know this area, I don't know this home, I'm out of here. And you never see it again. Well, this was the case for a man who adopted a cat in Los Angeles. The cat went astray 15 years ago, and it has been reunited with its owner. Brandy, a brown tabby, was reunited Monday afternoon with Charles, who adopted her as a 2-month-old kitten in 2005. He said, "It's amazing. I think it's unbelievable." I think the rest of us would say that too. He said, quote, "I saw her, I picked her up, and she started to purr, and it was very emotional. It was nice to have her in my arms again." He says, "I did break down and cry because I thought about all the years I lost from her." Brandy was found Sunday in Palmdale. That's about 40 miles from where Charles lives in San Fernando Valley area of Los Angeles. The computer technician who didn't want his last name used said Brandy strayed only a few months after he adopted her. Now, there's going to be a lot of changes in a cat as, 2 months old to 15 years old? I don't know how you know it's the same cat, honestly, but obviously he says it is, and so he's happy to have the cat back home again. I don't know, that's pretty rare, isn't it, Megan, to have a cat disappear like that for 15 years and then, that's an old cat too, right? What's the average lifespan for a cat? 18 years. Oh, really? I didn't know that was the average. Okay, well, that's interesting to note. So, and by the way, if you want to adopt any animals, the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society will certainly be happy to help you out with that, and we'll talk more about that. Are you going to have another pet of the week this week, or? Oh, a bunny. Really? And usually that's right around Easter that we get the bunnies, but we're a little early this year with a bunny. So we'll have that in our pause. Are we pausing for pets? What are we doing these days? Oh, okay, pause for pets with a W, not a AU. So there you go. That's your latest local news at 17 minutes past the hour. Hey, don't forget we have Wake Up Wenatchee Valley tomorrow with Dan, hopefully. And then we have news tonight with Grant Olson, who has a preview.
Good morning, Eric. Thank you. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, Dr. Malcolm Butler discusses the wide variety of COVID-19 variants that have made their way into this country. Beautiful weather ahead for our first week of March. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And Eric, you'll be here too with a look at our upcoming high school sports schedule on the NCW Life Channel. That and all the day's news stories coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Eric, back to you.
Thank you much, Grant. Look forward to that and look forward to some sports. We're kind of slowly getting back to normal here in North Central Washington. That means some football. That means local high schools got busy last weekend. We'll find out more about that coming up with the athletic directors for Cashmere, Eastmont, and Wenatchee. They'll join us on the last half of the program. We'll get a sneak peek about what they're talking about with sports news coming up next here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Oh, yeah, by the way, if you want to get a hold of us, I told you, multi-slurp morning. You can do that right here on the bottom of the screen. You can get a hold of us at news@ncwlife.com. You can also reach out to us through our Facebook page. Hopefully you like and follow us while you're there. And you can call us the old-fashioned way, 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295-NCW Life. There you go. It's part of your life. And thanks for making us part of your life. All right, here we go. We're going out to commercial break, and we'll be back. Dr. Wayne Latimer's Chiropractic and Integrative Multi-Care specializes in all level of injury care. If you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, have a sports injury, or a simple fall, call today for a free consultation. They offer a combined multi-care approach with medical, chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and acupuncture. For relief from long-standing injuries to basic solutions for the weekend warrior, Latimer's Chiropractic Integrative Multi-Care is one stop, one location.
Chelan Wireless is your Verizon authorized retailer featuring the latest iPhone and Android devices. Personal or business, they have the plan and the customer service you're looking for.
In these challenging times, Bear Foods is open and ready to help. From health to diet to home, we are here to take care of your needs. Bear Foods, the good food store.
From home furnishings to the latest in home entertainment technology, Deepwater Home and Electronics can provide the selection and the connection for your wireless world.
21 minutes past the hour here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Sunshine in our forecast. Temperatures in the middle 50s today expected. We're at 35 under fair skies downtown. In for Dan Coons, Eric Granstrom with sports news on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, the WNBA will have to deal with a familiar face in a Seattle uniform for at least one more season. 40-year-old Sue Bird has re-signed with the Seattle Storm to play another season, her 18th in the league and 20th overall with the franchise. After leading the Storm to its fourth WNBA title in 2020, Bird said she'd be back again if her health and body allowed her to do so. Apparently, it's all good. Bird took the 2019 season off, recovering from knee surgery. Back last year, she averaged 9.5 points and 9.2 assists per game. Under Bird's leadership, the Storm have won WNBA titles in 2004, 2010, 2018, and last year. Well, the Pac-12 women's basketball tournament gets underway tomorrow. It'll be at the Mandalay Bay Event Center in Las Vegas. Washington State will face Utah in the opening round at 5 o'clock. Washington faces Colorado at 8 o'clock. All those tournament games you see on your screen there can be seen on the Pac-12 network. Meanwhile, girls soccer hits the pitch later today across north central Washington. Cashmere will host Cascade at 5 o'clock in Cashmere. Eastmont's on the road at Ephrata for a 7 o'clock game. Wenatchee also away from home tonight in Moses Lake for a 7 o'clock kickoff. Well, as the Mariners prepare to take on the Cleveland Indians in Cactus League Baseball today, a guy who's certainly happy to be back in a Mariner uniform is Mitch Hannah. Hannah missed most of the last 2 years with injuries and was back in the batter's box Sunday against San Diego. He said it was nice to feel the nerves again.
I mean, I was excited, definitely some nerves. Good to feel those again. I feel those every spring training and, pretty frequently during the season too. But no, I think the last couple of days having live VPs, that really helped me prepare. Came down here a little early to stand in on some bullpens and, I've been feeling good, ready to go. So, the biggest thing for me is just missing the competition, obviously you want to play any games, but when you're on the DL for so long, it's tough to find that fix with competition, and that's what I've missed the most.
Manager Scott Service said it was great to see Mitch battle so hard to get back on the field again.
Yeah, really happy for him. He's gone through so much, and like I talked with him the other day, we don't know how that's felt. Can never walk in his shoes and struggling through some different surgeries and whatnot. So I know he was really looking forward to getting out there today. It was nice to see him get a break and get that first hit out of the way as well. And we'll continue to monitor his playing time as we go along in camp. He's going to hit the top of the order. He'll get a couple of bats and he'll be out of there just to keep him going and keep building strength within his game. But he's looked great so far in camp. Nice to get that first game out of the way. He looked really good out there, very comfortable.
Mitch Hannah was one of those guys you just root for. He was a rising star and then had a shoulder injury and then actually lost a testicle coming off of back surgery. One of the big hurdles for Hannah will be to return to the hitting prowess he had before his injuries. He says he'll have to balance his time up as well as his time down to rest.
I think it's just kind of play it by ear kind of thing. See how I'm feeling, and I know right now I'd like to play every other day, and I think for me, hopefully a couple DH days in there because just trying to get at bats, and but I think that's something that we're just going to kind of stay in communication with Scott and with KT and the training staff, and just have a slow build up and get ready to play.
Mariners take on Cleveland today with a 12:10 first pitch time. They'll see Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for the first time this spring. Indians will start Adam Plutko. Again, that first pitch at 12:10 this afternoon. And by the way, if you didn't see the walk-off heroics by young talent Julio Rodriguez on Sunday's win, well, here you go.
Time of game, 3 hours and 5 minutes. 3:05. My lead for Shane. Yeah. Relay. Get the relay. It's going to go to Red Jacks for me to get Padres. Cool. That Julio guy. Yes. Seawald the winner, Markel the loser.
There's that Julio guy. Is that what I just heard? Yeah, that's what we're to with Major League Baseball spring training is somebody on their cell phone going, let's see. Yeah, okay, I think I got it. Yeah, well, let me zoom in here on that Julio guy. All right, other sports news this morning. Area high school sports finally got back on the fields and courts last Saturday. Eastmont Athletic Director Russ Waterman says it was great to have some normalcy back.
You know, it started for us, you know, we hosted three teams with ourselves in Wenatchee and Chelan Saturday for volleyball. So we were here really early, 7 o'clock in the morning, setting up. And so it was great to see our cross country team getting ready to go and get on the bus to go to Wahluke and run, and then followed by the girls soccer team. We're traveling over to Wenatchee, and we had pictures for football teams. So they were in the gym getting, or not the gym, but the commons getting pictures, and volleyball players there. It felt good. It felt real. It felt normal. We're all used to that chaos of game day. And then again, just watching every level from D team to varsity and volleyball, the kids competing and doing their doggonedest to stay with the COVID protocols that we have and everything else. And overall, you know, it's just a good day. I say, you know, it beats the alternative.
Yeah, certainly does. Wenatchee Athletic Director Jim Beeson says they're trying to be creative on how they can have parents be able to see their kids play.
We aren't planning yet to have spectators come in. I did have, as opposed to hiring workers, I had our senior parents come in and do some of the things that I would normally have workers do. And so a lot of our senior parents got in, and we'll rotate that through our senior parents to get them an opportunity to come in and watch. The football jamboree after the soccer, I would say football's got a little bit more room for improvement overall. It just making sure we're following all of our protocols and everybody's wearing masks. It'll be the harder one, I think.
Yeah, the utmost concern for all athletic directors and administration here is keeping their student athletes safe. Cashmere's athletic director Jeff Carlson describes what they're doing to keep track of health and safety.
Yeah, we don't have those type of resources that you see at the major Division I level or at the professional level. So we don't have the ability to test our athletes. We're just doing the daily attestation with both our coaches and our athletes, you know, asking them each and every day if they've been around anyone with COVID, do they have any COVID symptoms, doing temperature checks in the morning. You know, those kids, as they enter our building, we're in hybrid learning right now. They fill out the attestation every morning before they enter our buildings. So that's basically how we're being in compliant with attestation.
You can see my entire conversation with the athletic directors Beeson, Carlson, and Waterman coming up in about 15 minutes right here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll begin our week of live high school sports this week on Thursday on the NCW Life Channel. We'll be poolside at Eastmont Aquatic Center for the swim and dive meet between Eastmont, Wenatchee, and Moses Lake on Thursday. Then on Friday at Lee Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl for Wenatchee and Moses Lake football. We'll wrap up our first week of coverage on Saturday at Eastmont when the Wildcats entertain the Moses Lake girls in soccer. That's a look at sports news at 29 minutes past the hour. Clear skies expected today. Gorgeous start to our Tuesday so far. We're at 35 degrees downtown. And before we get to today's obscure holiday, again, a morning slurp. So join me if you would. Grab your cup of joe, whatever cup you get to start your day, and let's start it off. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we're doing good. By the way, today's obscure holiday, when you say, hey, what's new? And the response is, same old stuff. Well, today's same old stuff day. In recognition of this all too common response, it's suggestive of a boring time in your life. Well, Old Stuff Day is not a day to do the same old stuff. Rather, it's time to recognize the boring nature of your daily routine and make some exciting changes. That includes just maybe even changing your route to work in the morning. Maybe take up a new hobby. Maybe, weather's getting better. Golf course is going to open soon. Maybe you try golfing or something like that. Old Stuff Day. I know in our garage we have a lot of old stuff that will go, right, Marion? Be nice to use a garage as a garage. There you go. National Old Stuff Day today. Today is the 2nd of March. Let's take a look at this day in history. On this date in 1807, U.S. Congress passed an act to prohibit the importation of slaves into any port or place within the jurisdiction of the United States from any foreign kingdom, place, or country. The first shipload of African captives to the British colonies in North America arrived in Jamestown, Virginia in August 1619. But for most of the 17th century, European indentured servants were far more numerous in the North American British colonies than were enslaved Africans. However, after 1680, the flow of indentured servants sharply declined, leading to an explosion in the African slave trade. By the middle of the 18th century, slavery could be found in all 13 colonies and was at the core of the southern colonies' agricultural economy. But it was on this date in 1807 that Congress says no more of this trading people. 1836, during the Texas Revolution, a convention of American Texans meets in Washington on the Brazos and declares the independence of Texas from Mexico. The delegates chose David Burnett as provisional president and confirmed Sam Houston as the commander-in-chief of all Texan forces. Texans also adopted a constitution that protected the free practice of slavery, which had been prohibited by Mexican law. Meanwhile, in San Antonio, Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna's siege of the Alamo continued, and the fort's 185 or so American defenders waited for the final Mexican assault. Texas declares independence from Mexico on this date in 1836. Also on this date in 1962, how about Wilt the Stilt? Wilt Chamberlain with the Philadelphia Warriors scored 100 points in a game against the New York Knicks. It was the first time that a professional basketball player had scored 100 points. Previous record, 78 points, set, by the way, by that guy, Mr. Chamberlain. During the game, Chamberlain sank 36 field goals and 28 foul shots, both league records at the time, by the way. Wilt was an immediate sensation in the NBA and the most dominant offensive force the league had ever seen. He was named Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player in 1959-60 season, the first of his 4 MVP awards. Of course, he would later lead the Philadelphia 76ers and Los Angeles Lakers to NBA championships in 1967 and 1972. Wilt Chamberlain on this date in 1962 scored 100 points. How about that? Birthdays today. Well, one of my favorite authors of all time, Dr. Seuss, was born on this date in 1904. Did you know his name was actually Theodore Geisel? Yep, better known to us as Dr. Seuss, author of illustrator of such beloved children's books as Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham. He was born in Springfield, Massachusetts on this date in 1904. Geisel, who used his middle name and his mother's maiden name, by the way, as his pen name, wrote 48 books, including some for adults. That one, by the way, for an adult, or adults, if you will, came out in 1990. It's my favorite personal book of Dr. Seuss. Any guess, Megan? Any guess on what it is? No, not Green Eggs and Ham. Oh, The Places You'll Go. That's my favorite book of all time. And, of course, my favorite from Dr. Seuss. I didn't know that his wife also was an author who penned books. In fact, she wrote a book, A Fish Out of Water, that was kind of basically based on one of her husband's books that included a fish in a goldfish bowl. She just kind of expanded on the idea. They were big into rhymes, of course, big into, I just can't imagine, I was talking with my wife about this last night, being at the Geisel's house for breakfast. Would you like tea? Oh no, for me, I would not like tea. How about green tea or black tea or brown tea? Oh no, no tea for me. Would it be coffee you'd prefer? No, I like tea. It'd take forever just to serve breakfast. All right, Dr. Seuss, born on this date in 1904. Also born on this date in 1935, Porky Pig. Today marks the first time Friz Freleng and Frank Tashlin released The Stuttering Pig on America in a short called I Haven't Got a Hat. Let's take a look.
We will now open our exercises with a recitation by our little friend, Porky Pig.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear the midnight ride of Paul Revere.
Thankfully, the stutter got a lot better over the years, and of course, you recognize this.
That's all, folks.
Happy birthday to Porky Pig. He's 86 years old today. That's going to do it for that portion of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Coming up next, we've got Mike Magnotti and his opinion. Also, my conversation via Zoom with athletic directors for Cashmere, Eastmont, and Wenatchee to Jeff Carlson, Russ Waterman, and Jim Beeson. It's straight ahead here on a Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
2021 models are arriving at Sangster Motors. General Motors is on the move with the all-new 2021 Yukon. Yukon is redesigned from the ground up with a bold new look and all the latest technology. Also new is the Canyon AT4 pickup. This off-road equipped mid-size truck will challenge any rival for performance and value. Both of these models will offer Duramax diesel options for maximum power and economy. The American Challenge is game on at Sangster Motors now.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. Now you can fish like a pro without breaking the bank thanks to the ProMag aluminum fishing boat by Smokercraft. It features a great layout with a spacious bow casting platform, huge live wells, and in-floor storage to safely stow your gear. See the Smokercraft line of boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, I'm late for a meeting.
I'm thinking of starting my own practice.
Do it. Too much capital.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We should knock that wall down and expand.
Do it. There's always another wall beyond the wall.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, when I was a kid, I used to read stories about people who had regrets. Now, these folks would reach middle age or later, and suddenly they'd say to themselves, is this all there is? Or something like, why didn't I do so-and-so or such and such? Basically, they'd be saying that they wasted their life, their one life. Now, this made me think. I never wanted to forget that this life, my life, is a one-way trip, and I didn't want to waste mine having regrets that I didn't measure up to much. So, how have I done? You tell me. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
With PUD rebates, we'll give you money to upgrade your house and reduce your energy footprint.
rebates are real. Visit conservationmakessense.org to learn more.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family-owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Cashmere. Affordable care.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill located at the beautiful Highlander Golf Course in East Wenatchee. Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner with dine-in or takeout options. Highlander Bar and Grill's friendly staff is here to serve you 7 days a week. Call for reservations Friday night prime rib dinner. Contact Shalane, Highlander Grill's site coordinator, to schedule your corporate event or special occasion today.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
Well, the Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley continues here on the NCW Life channel. And thankfully, I know they're busy people right now, but we've got the athletic directors for Cashmere, Eastmont, and Wenatchee High Schools joining us. We've got Jeff Carlson, we've got Russ Waterman, we've got Jim Beeson. I know we just got things going, thankfully. Let's hear it for that, first of all. How was last weekend? We had Jamboree, we had soccer, we had volleyball. How did everything go? Jeff, I'll start with you. We'll do it alphabetically. So Cashmere first.
All right. Yeah, we hosted volleyball on Saturday. We had 3 teams. Things went really well. We had Moses Lake and OMAC in our gym, varsity and sub-varsity. We started action at 10 a.m. and we were out of the gym a little after 9 p.m. So it was a long day, but man, to see the look on those girls' faces to finally be competing, it was pretty special. So yeah, we move forward this week with girls soccer. We got 2 matches at home, and then we're going to do the 3-team volleyball again on Saturday. Our football team will be on the road on Friday, but all in all, it was great. We didn't allow spectators to our volleyball matches on Saturday because we're kind of in a phased-in approach, wanted to see how that would work. But we're excited for this week. We're going to start allowing limited spectators. Family of the athletes will be able to attend. We're trying to give 2 tickets to each rostered athlete starting at tomorrow's girls soccer game. So we're moving forward with that and excited to get the parents to be able to watch their athletes compete.
Sometimes that's a little tough because the venues where the activities are happening are not, fenced off necessarily. How are you going to tackle that, Jeff?
Well, we're going to do our best. We're going to put up some flags for our soccer stadium, have 1 entry point, have an station set up as well. So we're going to do our best, man. We're just doing things on the fly, trying to do our best to try to accommodate spectators. And so, we'll see how it goes on Tuesday. We got another home game on Thursday. If we need to make any adjustments, we'll do it.
Well, that sounds good. Let's go to Eastmont and Russ. I know you had a busy weekend. It's been a busy week just getting everybody back to practice and shoveling snow. And what a difference a week makes, huh?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, like we're saying, the weather's cooperating. And Jeff mentioned earlier, on a traditional year, today's the first day of spring sports. And we're thinking about football and soccer and volleyball and all those good things. And they're all great thoughts. And I can only echo what Jeff said. It's just incredible. It started for us, we hosted 3 teams with ourselves in Wenatchee and Chelan Saturday for volleyball. So we were here really early, 7 o'clock in the morning, setting up. And so it was great to see our cross country team getting ready to go and get on the bus to go to Wahluke and run, and then followed by the girls soccer team. We're traveling over to Wenatchee, and we had pictures for football team. So they were in the gym not the gym, but the commons getting pictures, and volleyball players. It felt good. It felt real. It felt normal. We're all used to that chaos of game day. And then again, just watching every level from D team to varsity and volleyball, the kids competing and doing their doggondest to stay with the COVID protocols that we have and everything else. And overall, it's just a good day. I say, it beats the alternative. We're blessed enough that we have this NFHS network, which is working for us right now. It's not optimal, it's not perfect, but it's better than not being able to see the kids at all with no fans, kind of where we are right now. And we look forward to this week. I mean, we're getting things really rolling this week. Our girls soccer team will travel to Ephrata. Tuesday, they'll host Moses Lake on Saturday, and that's going to be our rollout day. We're gonna let our spectators come in. We've got a little bigger capacity than Jeff has for a stadium, so we're going to go with 4 tickets per rostered player, so we can cover a little bit of that extended family. If we have a split family, that we can make that available. We'll have social distancing in the stands. We'll have markers where we want people to be. We've gone with Ticket Spicket for digital online ticketing. We're going to roll that out and see how that works for us. And then hopefully, as we get through that step, we'll be opening up for, ultimately, we'd like to be able to say for that Wenatchee football game the week after that we'd allow some spectators in again per rostered player. We're not quite there to open it up for our community yet. We just don't have that to manage. We want to take very, very small steps, make sure that all of our protocols are in place, that we're safe for our athletes, for the officials, and our community.
Well, other than the masks on the faces, no difference in what happened with girls soccer. I mean, they pick it up right where they left off with that rivalry between Eastmont and Wenatchee goes into a PK shootout. Jim, talk about how things are for the Wenatchee side of the world and as you got through the first weekend and now you prepare for week 2.
I mean, it's just controlled chaos is basically back to our life as normal for all of us. I mean, we started with pictures at 6:30 and in the morning on Saturday and started with cross country because they left at 7:30 to go to Royal City and just pictures went till 3:00. And we had the girls soccer matches, which we had a minor snafu on my part. I programmed our cameras to go off at 4, and that's just about the time the penalty kick started. So I learned my lesson there. I screwed up, and I just got to learn from it and move on. But it was great to see everybody out and following all the protocols and doing what we asked of them to do. We aren't planning yet to have spectators come in. I did have, as opposed to hiring workers, I had our senior parents come in and do some of the things that I would normally have workers do. And so a lot of our senior parents got in, and we'll rotate that through our senior parents to get them an opportunity to come in and watch. The football jamboree after the soccer, I would say football's got a little bit more room for improvement overall. You just making sure we're following all of our protocols and everybody's wearing masks. It'll be the harder one, I think, of all the sports to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Some of it, I think, is we watch too much TV too, and you see all the NFL guys always pulling their masks down and talking to the referees and whatever, and it's hard to break our coaches of some of those types of habits. But overall, the weekend happened, and there wasn't a whole lot of complaints afterwards. I think everybody was just focused on the fact that our kids got a chance to participate. It's been well over a year since we've been looking forward to this day. And I just keep reminding everybody that all of the NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, all the NCAAs, I mean, they all started off with no fans, and some of them still don't have fans, and they have much bigger venues and much more resources available to them than what we have. So just please bear with us as we get through this and just focus on the kids, and we want to finish what we start. That's kind of been our mantra since we've gotten going, is just make sure we finish what we start and don't have COVID creep its ugly head up in the middle of all this.
Well, and let's talk about that real quick. Obviously, number one for you guys is keeping the kids safe and your athletes safe. It might be different per school as far as size and things like that. Are we testing our athletes? Are we just doing that survey where they're talking about, if they've been around it and been around anybody sick? How's this going? Jeff, first start with how things are working in that regard for Cashmere.
Yeah, we don't have those type of resources that you see at the major Division I level or at the professional level. So we don't have the ability to test our athletes. We're just doing the daily attestation with both our coaches and our athletes, asking them each and every day if they've been around anyone with COVID, do they have any COVID symptoms, doing temperature checks in the morning. Those kids, as they enter our building, we're in hybrid learning right now. They fill out the attestation every morning before they enter our buildings. So that's basically how we're being in compliant with attestation.
Okay, so Russ, how are things working at Eastmont? Kind of the same way?
Yeah, I think, I believe that this Washington State, and this goes to the work of WIA working with DOH and the governor's office, I think was ahead of the curve in a lot of the country in regard to attestation. When you look at what the CDC rolled out a few weeks back, we've already been doing that since August. All of our schools, asking those critical questions about, any COVID-like symptoms. Have you been around any COVID exposures? Those kind of things, coaches and everybody else. We've added to that the officials. So now as officials come to our site, we have an online attestation that we ask them to do on a Google Doc. All of our workers, if they're not school district employees, will do that attestation. So again, we do it for contact tracing also. So if we do have a positive case or we have an exposure, we have that list of people that may or may not have come into contact with that. So we'll help the DOH out in Chelan, Douglas County Health in regard to their contact tracing. We looked at testing. There's some things that are out there that we can get with rapid tests, but in talking with a couple of ADs around the state, especially Woodinville, it really becomes a burdensome logistic because what if your tests don't come back in time? Then you just lost that group, a pod of testers. And so then they miss that contest. And if that's your coaching staff, you've missed every level. So there's a lot of double-edged sword there with that testing. And again, like Jeff alluded to, we don't have the manpower and the resources that a D1 college or an NFL team or a pro team has to do all that. So we're doing the best that we can, and we're working with, if we got to shut down a kid for a few days because they were exposed, then so be it. And we're asking our kids to make good choices away from our facilities when they're with their friends, to be conscious of that. Anytime that you're going to meet in a gathering, you're taking a risk that you could shut our program down. And I think for the most part, our kids are doing the best that they can in that regard.
Yeah, I've seen those great posters up around some facilities around the state. Don't be the reason that you lose the season. Jim, everybody staying healthy so far at Wenatchee?
Yeah, we're pretty much doing all the same things that Cashmere and Eastmont are doing. Ron Brown with our tech department has developed an online attestation that we all do. You guys will get the pleasure of doing it when you come to do our game Friday. I can say that our learning how to stream and webcast all of our games gives us a new appreciation for what you guys do on a regular basis, because that's probably what I've had more phone calls and text messages about, is just issues with some of that stuff, and trying to, the parents frustrated because it's not as clear, or they don't know who's who or whatever. But yeah, so we're doing the same things. And what we're doing is so before we went to Eastmont, all of our kids we get tested in terms of they'll come in with their check mark and get their temperature check and get everything done here before they get on the bus, just like Eastmont does when they come here. OMAC and Chelan did before they came down to the volleyball or the football jamboree. So we're each doing our own part before the game starts, and then we're emailing each other saying, yeah, all of our kids are good to go. The ones that are coming are cleared and good to go. So it's just part of the game now, and it's a never changing game. That wait till tomorrow and there'll be something new that we have to do.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Jim Beeson, Russ Waterman, and Jeff Carlson, athletic directors for Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Cashmere. I wanted to address that too. We're doing what we can to help out with this, with the lack of fans and things like that. We're trying to roll out the cameras like we usually do. We're actually going to do swimming for the first time ever on Thursday with that meet at Eastmont's Aquatic Center. We're looking forward to that. Eastmont, Moses Lake, and Wenatchee for that one. We've got football, Moses Lake and Wenatchee from Lebofto Field on Friday night. And then we'll be at Russ's place on Saturday afternoon for some girls soccer, Eastmont and Moses Lake. We're doing what we can. I know that's a big question. You just alluded to it, Jim, as far as how can we see these games? We're going to try to do what we can too to feed NFHS our feeds when we go there, so they can know which numbers who and things like that. Another question I had too, Jeff, as far as we used to have the great website that had all the information as far as scores and rosters and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's a change because we don't have the Big Nine, we don't have the CWAC site, we don't have the CTL. So how am I, as a sports guy, or how are fans going to keep track of what's happening as far as, who won last weekend?
Yeah, great question. So each of the schools in our region now have their own website. So CashmereBulldogs.com is where you want to go for schedules, rosters, scores, recaps of games. We've got all that information on there. In regards to league standings, that's still something we're trying to work out to put those onto our websites. The Caribou Trail League's kind of unique this year. In our region, we're still playing for a league championship. Being that we have a small league, only get 5 football games, well, 4 of them are going to be league games. So we're actually playing for a league title. But yeah, for all that information, we no longer have CTLathletics.com, but we do have CashmereBulldogs.com. And I know both Wenatchee and Eastmont also have websites with a lot of that information as well.
Russ, share the Eastmont page for folks that want to find that information out.
Yeah, for us, it's EastmontAthletics.com, and that'll also, on the title page on that, bring you to every Big Nine school has a LinkedIn page. So you'll be able to find Jim's page there and everything else. And if you follow the Wildcats on Facebook or Twitter, you're going to get a lot of in-game updates. We're rolling out a little bit of social media for in-game updates and wins and losses and stats and everything else like that. We're trying to add that to our repertoire to make this a special year and a shortened season. So follow those 2 sites, and you can stay up to speed. So I appreciate, Erica, what you guys are doing with NCW Life. I know that we're working on trying to get you that NFHS network code so you can broadcast on the website. But you're going to be live on ncwlife.com, right? You're going to be having that as a live broadcast for us. So people can go there. So there's a free option for them, and always on video on demand and delay for after the events. If people can't watch it live, we'll repeat those. And, I can't thank you enough for doing what you're doing. That means a lot to us, and I'm glad we can make that partnership happen, both Wenatchee and the Cashmere and us.
Yeah, who would have thought, even just a year ago in the fall when we're doing sports and we're doing the schedule on NCW Life and things like that, that we'd be talking about, well, the only way to see it is with a camera somehow. That's just crazy. Okay, Jim, where do we go to find out the Wenatchee information?
WenatcheePanthers.com. We've all, unfortunately, we've made changes, and the changes I wouldn't say aren't necessarily for the best up to this point in time, but we're working, trying to make it better than, or as good as what we had. But at this point in time, we're still working on it and trying to figure out the best way to do everything. So, but again, I would echo what Russ has said, especially after this weekend. The job that you guys do and the professionalism that you guys have with the job that you're doing is much appreciated for. And I know I can guarantee our football people are going to be ecstatic the fact that you guys are doing the game on Friday night.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. And for those Cashmere fans out there, we'll be able to get a Cashmere game in. In fact, the Pear Bowl. I'm looking forward to that one, Jeff. I don't know about you.
Absolutely. The big one. Yep. Pear Bowl. Looking forward to it here in Cashmere.
Well, gentlemen, we'll keep up to date on what's happening throughout the year, throughout this first season 1, if you will. And here's hoping the weather continues like this so we don't have to worry about field problems or anything else or shoveling snow anymore. We'll just knock on wood on that one. We appreciate your time. Thank you for all the work you do. I know it's yeoman duty that you're having to pull off, and let's continue to edge more close to normal, okay?
Yeah.
Outstanding. Thanks, Eric.
Yep, thanks, Eric.
You bet. Jeff Carlson, Russ Waterman, and Jim Beeson joining us here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.